Morning, guys. We're on Revelation chapter 20 from verse 7. And we're just going to do a few verses before we get into that on just the millennium reign of Christ, 1,000 years, when Jesus comes back and he's locked up Satan into the bottomless pit. Remember, the false prophet has been thrown into hell. So there's no people to deceive the nations. And so the nations reign with a lot of blessing, and it's a very different place now that Jesus is reigning. And so let's just look at some of the scriptures, and there's quite a few. I'm just going to read from Isaiah chapter 11, verse 6. And the wolf shall dwell with the lamb, and the leopard shall lie down with the kid, and the calf and the young lion and the fatling together, and a little child shall lead them. And so we see even the created order starts to be restored a little bit back to how it was in Genesis. Although men are still sinners, they're born sinners, there is almost like we're going back to how it was in the early times, where people lived long and there was blessing on the land. Verse 7, and the cow and the bear shall feed their young ones, shall lie down together, and the lion shall eat straw like the ox. So before the fall there was no death, and these animals that eat meat would have eaten vegetables and grass and all that sort of thing. And so here we see the lion eating straw like the ox. Verse 8, and the suckling child shall play on the hole of the asp or the viper, and the weaned child shall put his hand on the adder's den. And so things like the poisonous snakes and the thistles and part of the curse is now being restored, now that Christ is reigning on earth. Verse 9, and they shall not hurt nor destroy on all my holy mountain, for the earth shall be full of the knowledge of Jehovah, as the waters cover the sea. And this is what I find quite sad, is that Jesus is there, he's reigning, the earth is being restored, there's wonderful blessing, and also the knowledge of the Lord has increased. And yet people still don't serve Jesus, and they don't serve God. And that, even when God blesses us and blesses people, we mustn't think that they're necessarily going to turn to God and give God the glory. Jesus reigned, when Jesus came to earth the first time, he had all these amazing miracles. He proved that he was God by casting out demons, by healing the sick, by commanding the waters to be still. He had authority over everything, over the earth, over demons, over sickness, and yet people saw all those wonderful miracles and they didn't believe. And the same thing will happen here. So in this blessed time of millennium, when Christ is now ruling back on earth, people are in a wonderful place, but yet they don't accept him. Let's jump to Isaiah 55 verse 12. For you shall go out with joy and be led forth with peace. The mountains and the hills shall break forth before you into singing, and all the trees of the field will clap their hands. Instead of the thorn shall come up the fir tree, instead of the briar shall come up the myrtle. And it shall be to Jehovah for a name, for an everlasting sign that shall be not cut off. So the land gets blessed, no more thorns, wonderful crops. Going on to Isaiah 65 verse 22, they shall not build and inhabit, they shall not plant and another eat. For as the days of the tree shall be as the days of my people, and the chosen shall long enjoy the work of their hands. And so even the lives of people get extended, like it was. They used to live hundreds of years back in Genesis. And so this kind of restoration is happening here on earth. They shall not labor in vain, nor shall bring forth calamity, for they are the seed of the blessed of Jehovah. Going down to 25, and the wolf and the lamb shall lead together, and the lion shall eat straw like the ox, and the dust shall be the serpent's food. And so we see a wonderful blessed time. So we haven't actually got to Revelation this morning, but I just wanted to just paint a picture of what that reign was like, and then I think on Wednesday we'll look at verse 7. But basically we see Satan coming back, being released from the bottomless pit and deceiving the nations. And once again, another war happens. And so we're getting right to the end. So we'll wait for Wednesday to look at verse 7. God bless.